Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video. I'm back again with yet more gameplay for you guys to enjoy from Gamescom, and we are once again taking a more in-depth look at another one of the 14 weapons. This time, it's the Longsword. Of course, if you've missed any other videos I've uploaded, then as always you can find the complete Monster Hunter World playlist linked down below. There are plenty of weapons to go through, and if your favourite weapon isn't live yet, then chances are it will be very soon. Of course, if you do enjoy this video, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to comment down below and let me know what you guys think of the new and improved Longsword. Also, as a quick reminder, my giveaway for the PS4 Pro is still running, so if you guys want a chance to win that, then check out the link in the description box down below. Now, to kick things off, for those of you that are new to Monster Hunter, then the Longsword is a weapon that has relatively good reach and is capable of dishing out high damage thanks to its swift attacks and inherent spirit combo. See, the Longsword has a spirit meter on the top of the screen. This meter fills the more you attack, and you can then use this resource to perform your spirit combo. We'll go into this in more detail in a moment when we look at the moves, but successfully completing that spirit combo and landing the final hit will then level up the sword charge. There are 3 levels to this, and they each offer a more powerful attack buff: white, yellow, and then red. Pair all of this with the fact that you are also pretty mobile with the Longsword, since it doesn't slow you down quite as much as something like a hefty greatsword, and you're able to be pretty nimble in combat whilst dishing out good damage in the process. Plus, being such a long weapon, it is especially good at severing tails if the monster has a tail that can be cut. But, enough of the weapon intro, let's dive a little bit deeper and see what's new in Monster Hunter World. Opening up the Hunter Notes, first up the control page lists all the basic options for this weapon. Now the Longsword is one of those weapons that has great potential but is also relatively simple and easy to pick up. You don't have a lengthy list of combos to remember, and most of your attack chains are relatively short. On triangle you have your standard attack. To begin with, this is a basic overhead slice. You can then chain 4 of these inputs together to form the bog standard sword combo, essentially 2 vertical chops, a forward thrust and an upward swipe. This is your bread and butter combo, and it's how you'll build meter. The high attacks provide you with great vertical reach, and it's also pretty safe since you can roll out at any time. Additionally, you can press circle to perform the thrust that you saw in the 4-hit combo. You can actually sub this input into your bread and butter combo, but it doesn't make any difference. It's either triangle 4 times or triangle, triangle, circle, triangle. After that, you have your fade slash. You can perform this by pressing triangle and circle together. This will, by default, swipe in front of you whilst making you hop backwards. You can work this into your combo should you need to reposition, but you can also input a direction with this, either left or right, if you want to move in the respective direction instead of back. So you can fade left and right. And for those of you that are existing Longsword users and you're wondering, it is still possible to do the fade slash into spirit combo shortcut that was present in previous Monster Hunter titles, but we'll touch on that a little more in a moment. R2 is your spirit blade button. Spirit combo I spoke about at the start, that comes from consecutive R2 inputs. 4 inputs will complete the combo, but you'll need full meter to pull it off. Successfully landing the final hit of the spirit combo will cause the gauge to level up, and you'll get the glow around both it and your weapon. Although the glow around the weapon is a lot more subtle this time around. In previous games it looked like some sort of Star Wars lightsaber, but now it's much more modest. Again, each level of this provides you with a greater attack boost, and it will gradually deplete over time, so it's in your interest to work spirit combos in frequently to keep this topped up and maximise your damage output. Something that's new in Monster Hunter World, however, is the spirit thrust. Pressing R2 and triangle together will go into this lunge animation, but in order to get the most out of it, you will need to have at least white charge on your Longsword. See, when this connects, you can press triangle to follow up into the Spirit Helm Breaker. No matter what happens, this will consume 1 level of your spirit charge. So if you're on white, it'll go back to nothing. If you're on yellow, it'll go down to white. And if you're on red, it'll go down to yellow. It consumes your charge, but does pretty hefty damage in the process. But that's not the only thing. If you miss with the attack, well, too bad. You just waste your time and your spirit gauge. But if it connects, then your spirit gauge begins to automatically refill, meaning you then have access to more spirit combos, in turn allowing you to further level up the gauge and then dip back into this attack. It's a pretty big, generous hit, but if the monsters move, then it is equally possible to miss, which I did do a few times. On top of that, something else that's new for Longsword is the Foresight Slash. This is performed mid-combo by pressing R2 and circle together. When you do this, you'll dodge backwards pretty far, so that alone makes it a great move to use simply to get out of harm's way. If you see an attack incoming, then this is somewhat like a more generous fade slash. However, there's another layer to this. See, this move also acts like a counter. If you're hit during the Foresight Slash animation, you'll dash backwards like before, but you'll also see this blue effect or this aura kind of pop up. When this happens, you're able to press R2 to go into a Spirit Slash, which if it connects will max out your spirit meter. From there, you can then press R2 one more time to go into the final Spirit Roundhouse Slash, which will then level up your Spirit gauge. Now, the interesting thing here is notice that whilst I did this, I had absolutely no Spirit meter whatsoever. So the very first Spirit Roundhouse Slash following the Foresight Slash fully maxed out the meter, irrespective of how much or how little you have. And of course then the final one is the level up move. So you can effectively, in just 2 hits, following a Foresight Slash, go from 0 meter to max and then a leveled up charge. It is of course a very high risk, high reward way to build up to red very quickly, since it requires you getting hit, it'll require a good understanding of the monster, being able to read it to see incoming attacks, but it's also incredibly useful at the same time. Now you have a good few ways to build meter and level your gauge. You have the standard Spirit combo, you can shortcut into the middle of the Spirit combo following a Fade Slash, you can take advantage of the auto-generating meter following a Spirit Helm Breaker, or you can go from a Foresight Slash straight into the last 2 hits. What's cool about this last one, the Foresight Slash, is that while styles and arts aren't returning in World, as I've said before in other videos, for some weapons it feels like they've taken a few components that feel similar or reminiscent of the way the weapon may have played in Generations or Double Cross, and worked it into the World moveset. That Foresight Slash feels like something straight out of Brave style. Now that's pretty much it for the moves. As mentioned, Longsword is pretty straightforward. You have your bread and butter triangle combo, the Spirit combo, and the 2 new moves, one for dishing out massive damage, one more so for evading and building meter. Skimming over the useful combos page, you can of course see the basic combo we spoke of, the Spirit combo, but you'll also see it's possible, as mentioned, to go from a Fade Slash into the Spirit combo midway through, as you've always been able to. But interestingly, you can also work the new Spirit Thrust into the end of it too, should you wish. Now something else I do want to mention, however, is the Longsword is still very much capable of tripping up your teammates. For those of you new to the series, Monster Hunter has what I like to call friendly fire. By that I mean you're able to hit your teammates, but you can't actually damage them. If you have something big like a hammer or a greatsword, then an upward sweeping attack can send your teammates flying sky high. Sometimes this can be useful, other times less so. Weapons like Switch Axe or Charge Blade, their ultra explosive attacks can have similar effects, and the Longsword, given its long reach and wide sweeping nature, can trip up some of your teammates depending on their weapons. Lance users and Sword and Shield users are particularly susceptible to this. As such, with a weapon like this, it's incredibly important you learn to position. Monster Hunter is about working together, so if you see a hammer user wailing on a monster's head, for example, then the sensible thing is to attack somewhere else, the legs maybe, or the tail. I wanted to bring this up since it's not something that we've seen too much in gameplay, and I have had people ask whether friendly fire, so to speak, is still in. So yes it is. But aside from that, there's not really much more I need to tell you. So as with all the other videos, I will leave you guys with a bit more Longsword gameplay, so hopefully gives you a good look at how the weapon now plays. Needless to say, it is incredibly fun to play with. That seems to be the running theme with all these weapons. Everything just feels fun and fresh in Monster Hunter World. Even if there are weapons you didn't typically use before, picking them up for the first time in World just feels exciting and they handle really nicely. Of course, if you have any questions, by all means drop them down below, but thank you very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.
Oh boy, that monster's really mad now. Be ready for some vicious attacks. Dodge their attacks. You don't want to take hits like that head on. Monster's almost done.